to our flag raising and happy International Transgender Day of Visibility. Thank you all for coming out on this beautiful day. So Transgender Day of Visibility is an annual day of recognition celebrated around the world on March 31st, which is dedicated to celebrating the accomplishments and victories of transgender and gender-expansive people, while simultaneously raising awareness of the work that is still needed to combat discrimination and violence. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I love writing affirmations, so I'm actually going to read one, because when we are in fights that seem discouraging or simply terrifying in regards of safety, it's important that we remind ourselves of power in all forms, whether we're an ally or on the forefront, and the support that we all do have. So I'm going to read the affirmation. People act. In this movement space, you have a seed that can be planted to bloom a garden of change. People inspire and motivate. A garden and its plants will need water, sunlight, time, and the right temperature, as well as nutrients to flourish. You do not have to plant a direct seed in order for you to play a role in the production of the garden. People empower and ignite change. No matter what type of seed you are or how many times you are able to water the soil, our garden of change will only be able to flourish with you in it. Our movement space is able to grow and expand as we all gradually get involved, support each other, and remember that any seed planted, no matter how long it may take to sprout, is a powerful seed. The point I'm trying to make is that the non-binary and trans community, especially those of color, have been facing alarming acts of discrimination and violence both locally and nationally through legislative attacks on transgender rights. Allyship and communal solidarity are important right now. We have to fight back against these attacks and stand beside our non-binary and transgender peers. So again, thank you all for coming out today. And up next, I would like to invite Kayla Kachi, who is our next speaker.
So, hey, I didn't really write a speech until this morning. I don't usually share the experience that I went through. I really talk about it a lot. I was a little nervous about taking up this space today, but I feel like it's important to share my side of something that the gender journey I went through. So for those who don't know me, my name is Kayla Kachi. I go by she, her pronouns, but it wasn't always that way. So the first thing that is important about like this experience that I'm going to share is I am a child abuse survivor. And something that people don't usually share is that 75% of people who suffer from body dysmorphia have also suffered from some sort of childhood trauma. And I was someone who suffered from body dysmorphia. I still do. It's not something that I go around talking about a lot. It's probably something my friends wouldn't even have noticed, but it's something that I have gone through and continue to go through with a therapist. I went through my abuse during puberty, and because of that abuse, it really changed the aspect of how I pictured my body, how I felt comfortable in my skin, and it was something that was really hard for me to figure out. But I was lucky. When I went to my parents at 14 years old and said, hey, I don't feel okay in my body. I want to look like this. My mom was the first one to say, okay, let's go to the store. And I led her to the men aisle and I said, I need to wear boxers to feel safe in my skin. I need to wear this kind of bra to feel safe in my skin. I need to cut my hair this short to feel safe in my skin. I need you to call me different pronouns at home to feel safe in my skin. It wasn't something I went to school and said, you know, publicly screaming from the clouds, hey, this is what we're doing at home. Hey, this is something I'm going through. But there were changes. Hot Topic, men's button-up shirts in extra large were the changes. Becoming a gay straight alliance officer in my high school were the changes. And going to Child Guidance Resource Center and talking about gender and talking about what made me feel safe in my skin were the changes. And for over a year and a half, I worked diligently on me and what made me feel safe, what made me feel good, what helped me with the challenges that I had faced. And because of that, and because the acceptance and the love that I had from my close friends who, you know, allowed me the space to say, hey, we can call you this if this is what feels comfortable for you. Hey, it's okay if you want to wear boxers and you want to do this, this, and this, if that's what works for you. And my mom never batted an eye, never loved me any less. And because of that, and because of the journey that my family and my friends allowed me to take, I am who I am today. My journey, sure, I say she, her pronouns when someone asks me now, but it wasn't always that way. And I think we should take the time to just, no matter what your journey looks like, no matter how you got there, no matter how you started, no matter what it looks like, if you want to make a lot of changes, whatever works for you to make you feel comfortable, and no matter how your journey looks at the end of it, I think everybody should be allowed to have that patience, that grace, that love and acceptance from those who they feel confident to share to allow them to have that space and time. So I'm really grateful for the family and friends that allowed me to go on that. And I hope that for everyone, I hope that we take a moment to even say, oh, well, I didn't know. You would never know unless that person felt comfortable to share. And I think we should just remember that, and remember that love and acceptance we should allow, no matter what it looks like, at the end of the day. So I didn't want to take up too much time. I just wanted to share that and like share my little experience. I didn't even really feel like writing a speech. But that's I just wanted to share the reality of that, because it can look completely different for everyone who goes through that journey. It's not one size fits all. So thank you for letting me share that.
So I'm not going to read anything of my own. I actually have a trans woman who wanted me to really represent the issues from her side and really discuss it from her end, and then I'll give my remarks after. She wrote, "Today is the day of trans visibility. In light of recent events, I find this day to be bittersweet. It's the day we become our true selves and live honestly. It's a thing of beauty. It's the opening of a window and smelling fresh air for the first time, feeling the warmth of sunlight behind the curtains after spending a long time in darkness. It's being visible, being out, and being true to who you are, even if it's just to yourself, and that's something that needs to be celebrated, not feared. Today is bittersweet because in these times it's an act of defiance to simply exist. It's bittersweet because when I think about the parents of trans children, I imagine how proud they must feel that their child is comfortable enough to share their true selves with them. And then I imagine the anxiety that they must feel for their kid's future. This day is complicated for me because I dwell on those things and those amongst us who are not safe to come out, those who are not accepted, those who choose to remain in the shadows, because in these modern times, this simple act of visibility has become stigmatized by those who refuse to acknowledge our humanity. Happy Trans Day of Visibility. I wish one day that this day is one of joy rather than defiance. one where a simple statement of self is celebrated rather than feared. Now, as for my remarks, there is nothing I can say to any trans person that they have not already heard at this point, as a cisgender person myself. Y'all have heard everything from that. I can't imagine how you feel, to I'm so sorry that I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the fact that we are still constantly dealing with cisgender people in politics, in healthcare, in education, in real estate that don't give a damn what y'all go through. Those are the people that need to be here at these events. Y'all don't need to be here. Y'all should be home enjoying yourselves. Y'all should be painting and writing poetry, singing and dancing and doing what you want to do. Y'all should not have to be here to advocate for yourselves. There should be people, enough people, who understand you without being you, that can step up and speak on your behalf when you're not in the room. The same way I look at my white friends and I say, if you can't speak for me as a black man, as a cisgender person, if I can't speak for you as a trans person and take those rocks that they throw at you, I have no business talking about my blackness, because there are black trans people, there are black disabled people, there are black people who are neurodivergent, and there are trans people all the same. Of every race, every ethnicity, every nationality, there are trans people everywhere. Whether they're non-binary, whether they are female to male, whether they are male to female, it doesn't matter. They exist all over the world. It's one of the most naturally occurring things that you can imagine in society. A man wakes up, puts on a suit and feels happy. A woman wakes up and puts on a suit and feels the same. It doesn't matter what's in her pants. That doesn't matter. And why do these people care so much anyway? Why are they so interested, especially in what's in the pants of children or in athletes, when you could never tell otherwise? You would never know otherwise. So it's just ridiculous to me that people still can't see that holding a microscope to another human being is just wrong. And then using it to prosecute and persecute them is just wrong. So again, I'm not here to talk to y'all. Y'all have heard this before. But if you are cisgender, step up. Do more. Have more of these conversations. If you're not arguing with your family members about this, you're not arguing with your neighbors about this, you are not doing enough for these people. And again, that applies across so many other intersections. Whether you're talking about gender, the ability of a human body, your race, your sexuality, your religion, there is no reason we should be writing laws to police who other people are, who they want to be and who they believe themselves to be. Regardless of what we think of it, even if you don't believe in it, you should be able to just shut up and let other people live. If you don't believe in trans people, fine, but stay the hell out of public discourse. Stay out of politics, stay out of healthcare, because you are turning your backs on people that you don't believe in. And that's all I have to say.
All of our speakers, and now we're just going to turn our attention to the rooftop because we're now going to raise the trans flag.
Right.